Fortnite is the gift that keeps on giving. And if the teasers for this next season show us anything, maybe that gift will be gold this time. In the lead up to the highly anticipated Chapter 2, Season 2 on February 20th, I had a pretty big question. Is Fortnite changing the way video games tell stories? Let's take a look. Movies, TVs, novels, anything with a narrative structure is usually told primarily through story. That is, they are told through information provided by the author or creator. Sometimes those stories are told by looking at the structure that story takes as well. A good example of this is the way Fortnite unfolds its story, especially leading up to Chapter 2, Season 1, and Chapter 2, Season 2. First, though, let me draw a distinction for clarity. There is story structure, the order in which a story is told. Leading up to the end, or the beginning of Chapter 2, Season 1, there was the giant anti-gravity orb at Loot Lake, the floating island, the growing rifts, a frequently changed map, and all sorts of other pieces that informed what was to come in the story. That is story structure, the events leading to another event. The structure a story inhabits, though, is what I am here to talk about, so please bear with me. The story of the game was that the island was no longer playable. It was sucked into a black hole and it disappeared. That was the story. The way Fortnite structured that, though, was with players actually being left off the island and no longer able to play, hence the 48-hour black hole out, informed the meaning of the story. So while the characters were no longer on the island, the theme of everything is going to change was fully embodied when users, players, were also kicked off the island when they tried to log in. The story structure and the inhabited structure of the story reflected each other in ways that other games do not get to. It also provides incredible marketing opportunities, but has led to frustration among diehard players. In the case of the lead up to Chapter 2, Season 2, we begin to understand the story unfolding was one of an outside organization infiltrating the island and the world the players inhabit. Outsiders coming in. That's the story. The structure of that, though, the way Fortnite decided to tell us that story, was through marketing almost entirely outside of the game. Again, outside, informing meaning on the inside. Aside from the gold furniture on the island and the message on Monday night, or the 17th, the story came to us, the players from outside the game. This is where the structure of the story informs the meaning of the story, something unheard of in other video games. This is sophisticated, but it is not new. Authors and directors and songwriters and poets, anyone with a story, has used the structure of their story to help tell the story, rather than just allowing the story to do all the work. And so while this is not a new concept in literature or film or songs or poetry, it is a new concept in video games, and Fortnite is leading the way on that. And it expands the way that Fortnite can tell its stories exponentially. Part of the frustration, though, with Epic and Fortnite is that Chapter 2, Season 1 lasted so long, and so little happened as far as story and lore go. If the story backs into a corner, it is difficult to discern whether that is the structure of the story or poor storytelling. Generally, with literature or film, we know the structure is purposeful, but we don't know that with Fortnite right now. This would be like watching a movie in which we don't meet the main characters or antagonists until the end of the movie, or where all the action happens at the end. The official Fortnite account has started dropping hints tinged with gold, but it is all at the end of the season, rather than little by little as the season goes on. This is where story and structure start to break down. But who knows what Chapter 2, Season 2 will bring? Maybe they'll bring back the lore of the island. Maybe we'll tie back to the original island. Who knows? Personally, though, I am excited to see where they go next. What about you? What do you want to see next? How are you liking the first few days of Chapter 2, Season 2? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks. See y'all later.